Whatever God-sized dream you're pursuing, often you can't help but see others who are where you want to be. Writing, speaking, podcasting, involvement in a particular ministry, being an entrepreneur. Maybe it's being married and having a family. Whatever it is, you see the posts and the pictures. You see them doing the thing, and you start to get discouraged because everything seems to be going so well for them, but for you, maybe not so much. Or you see people who haven't gotten as far as you've gotten, and you feel better about where you are because of where they are. Measuring where you are and what you're doing against someone else is not part of the journey. We have to stop the comparisons. Nothing good comes from comparing ourselves to others. We shouldn't be assessing the worth of what we're doing or the success of what we're doing based on someone else. I love Jonathan in the book of 1 Samuel. He was the king's son in line for the throne, and he was a great warrior. When the Philistines came against Israel, his father, King Saul, wanted to avoid the battle. While the king was sitting under a pomegranate tree with 600 men, Jonathan took one man and went to the Philistines' camp. He said this, 1 Samuel 14:6, "Come and let us cross over to the garrison of these uncircumcised. Perhaps the Lord will work for us. For the Lord is not restrained to save by many or by few." The Lord honored Jonathan's faith and showed himself strong, sending an earthquake that made the enemy tremble and sent them scattering. Jonathan was a hero. Then David came along. He was anointed by God, slew the giant, and got all the fame in Israel. Jonathan could have been envious of David. He could have compared himself to David like, "This dude came out of nowhere and stole my thunder. I'm the one who's royalty. Now he's suddenly elevated." But that wasn't Jonathan's heart. He knew this was the Lord's doing. Jonathan made a covenant with David, and he gave David his princely robe, his armor, his bow, and his sword. Jonathan was used mightily by God. He served the purpose of God, and that wasn't diminished in any way by what God had called David to do. As each of us pursues what God has put in our hearts, we have to remember that it's all from God. It won't look the same from person to person, and that's a reflection of the beauty and glory of God. We have to guard against looking here and there and seeing how His glory is being reflected through other people and how His plans are being walked out in their lives, and letting that discourage us. Remember, it's not about us anyway. What God is doing in someone else's life doesn't take away from what He's doing in ours. His grace and power won't run out before He gets to us. Proverbs 4:25 through 27. "Let your eyes look directly ahead, and let your gaze be fixed straight in front of you. Watch the path of your feet, and all your ways will be established. Do not turn to the right or to the left. Turn your foot from evil." When we're pursuing God-sized dreams, we can't be turning to the right and the left to compare our path with someone else's. It'll either inflate or deflate your ego, and neither is the will of God. Cling to God on the path you're on. Keep your gaze fixed and give God the praise for the ways He is using you to bear fruit for the kingdom. And here's a challenge to kill the flesh. Next time you're tempted to compare yourself with someone else, give God praise for how He's using that individual. Let me know in the comments if you're tempted to compare yourself with others as you pursue your God-given dream. And how do you combat that? Don't forget to subscribe and share. I'll see you in the next video. Keep clinging.